Welcome, welcome. Welcome. Hello, hello. Hi, guys. One sec. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Alrighty. So, we are going to be working on some balancing, I think. Flips your card the other way. That'd be interesting. Actually, wait. Let me make it so that when you move, like when you hit the wall, it turns you around real quick. Or you start moving the other way. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I'm mid-rolled. Welcome. Just getting started for the stream today. I finished this animation thing. Kind of get the idea. That's what we did last stream. Took a very long time, but we did it. Hey, Dark Dog. Welcome back. Amazing. It's cool. Okay. Let's How about this? Yeah, Catloaf. I threw together something. If you survive the lasers, you can't. The lasers, even if they pass you, you still get dealt damage. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, we added basically a new tier. I gotta change the colors. It's a little too pale. I gotta make it more saturated, I think. But yeah, we finished the lasers. Got some good sound effects there. I think they look pretty good. We're gonna work on some balancing today, so like how much damage stuff to do. Also, just like, you know, these need to go backwards once they reach the end. That kind of stuff. But yeah, so let's actually start with that, I think. And actually, real quick, the animations for lasers, yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, dude, we spent, what, 6 hours on the stream yesterday? Or last time? Oh, it's just this player 1 and player 2. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's true. I do need to feel that. Yeah, they do, my quick potato. They do appear too early. That was just for testing. Okay, I don't know. Commit. Sync. Go. And on GitHub I need to compare and pull request. Refactor into main. Create PR. Look at the changes here, by the way. Merge PR. Confirm. I'm doing alright. It's Nopsy. Delete branch. Code. Okay. That's good there. And then inside of here, we need to go to main and pull. Beautiful. Okay. What do you think about adding a category of items that require user input to activate? I think it'd be cool. I think some kind of like power-ups and stuff like that, or just abilities would be cool. Yeah, I do think there's some stuff we could experiment there. Okay. So let's make it so that when a bot reaches the opposite side, so like a bot comes over here, touches this wall, it starts running this way. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with Crash Bots. It was the original name, like the in development name, and it seems I made a poll on my YouTube channel, and it seems like that was the winning result. Actually, I can show posts. Yeah, I made a poll, and most people said Crash/Clash Bots. I kind of combined them. I think probably just start reversing Catloaf. I mean, it would be interesting to maybe flip, but that might be kind of jarring. Making a tutorial, or am I making a tutorial series for Blow Up With Your Knowledge? Yeah, so I did make one tutorial video so far, and I plan to make more. I was actually working on, so this is how big studios develop on Roblox. This did very well, for, I mean, how small my channel is. And, I do plan on doing another video, and I actually was kind of getting things started for the next tutorial video. How long have I been working on this for? About a month, I believe. Just over a month. Oh, crap. Nah, that's fine, Metas. Okay, so we're in main. Yeah, we'll open up testers once we have some more gameplay, which hopefully we have some today, actually, since I'm going to be balancing things. Let's make it so that my startup server use mock true. So we start with a fresh blank slate. Core data template. Level 1, Clash level 1, XP 0. Okay. Can you acquire your game once it comes out? Or my game when it comes out? Probably not. Usually the offers are pretty terrible. I've been offered over like 200k though. But decline. I think I would. My valuation for Tower Defense RNG was like 500k. don't accept offers. Yeah, I know. They're all crap. It's because the valuation's only based off like 3 months of income, when it's like, do you combine all your scripts into replicate storage, server, client, shared, etc.? So, this is actually what I was doing today. I spent the last like 4 hours reworking how I have this set up. So under source, instead of it being like client, server, shared, it's just like there's a services. You put the services in it, and each one has like a client and server version. And based off of this, I built a tool that automatically maps. Let me see. It automatically maps in here. So like if I go to services, battle service, it has the client and the utils version, but then the server one goes into server script service, and it has the server one here. And you can do this anywhere, and it automatically maps, but then when you're actually coding it, it's right here in right where you want it, like all in one folder. Yeah, Xuvia USD. Yeah, I was actually just working on this today because I yeah, I just like this better. There's other reasons too, but I won't go into it. Kind of off topic. Okay. So when a BattleBot reaches the other side, we want to basically reverse the wheels. So let's go into the BattleBot class here. And basically when it's reached, so we need to kind of probably in this update function check to see if it's reached a certain point. Or we could just actually subscribe to the touched event on the sidewall. Maybe we should do that. Hi, Mr. Pronto. Yeah, I did auxiliary. Do you have any tips for making big systems? Like, do you break it down when doing it? If you yeah, so basically everything is as modular as possible. I mean, you can see like my physics engine class here. It's broken down into, you know, many different things. Same thing with like the battle. You know, there's so many different things, battle parts, and that just it promotes, you know, maintainability. Each script has one purpose, essentially. Yeah, it's Nopsy. I mean, I technically was, and that's why I changed it. No way, they're for real? Dude, I'm surprised he's even alive. Yeah, Argos, 500k USD. But how do you separate server and client? Is it good to have one class that has both server and client objects? Yeah, so depending on the class, like it really depends. Certain things need a server and a client version. So like you know, all of my services have a server and a client version, like you can see here, like what I was just showing just a second ago. And some classes do as well. I don't think any in this game yet, but that's pretty common for classes. Or not super common, but like it's normal to have classes that have a server and a client version. What UI framework do you use? I'm using React on this project, but I've used Fusion in previous projects before. My favorite computer science design pattern. No, derp. I have my own custom networking library. I can plug myself. If you need a networking solution, I've got one for you. This is Networker, open source, super easy. Yeah. And Nugget. My favorite computer science design pattern. I don't know. That's a crazy question. I mean, it's not crazy, but like, I've never like thought about that. I don't know. I want to do so wall left touch. Oh, we can get rid of this. This is all the old death wall stuff. We got lasers now, so I can do wall left dot touch connect. Why services not module scripts? So you can control. They are module scripts. This is all like a custom mapping. So like if I clash service, client and server, if I go over here to clash service, oh, you can't see Explorer. If I go over here, clash service, it maps to this script. And then the server versions down here maps to this one. Hey, Scriptify. How come you ever run a networking solution? Because everything based on instances is just really annoying to work on. Like, work for. Like, for example, whenever, like, you need a remote event to, in order to do any, like, cross-server networking, right? And networking solutions still use remote events, obviously, but you can just you do everything in code. You don't need to like worry about actually creating the instances and stuff like that. Also, there's just a lot of utility things like firing only this certain person, or fire these 3 people. Like, I don't know. There's a lot more too that. Also, like, my networking solution. So I have the networker class. By firing something, like if I go to inventory service client and I fire fuse, it will literally call the function fuse. It will call this function on the server. Granted as access, which it does. And then you verify things like, you know, the player actually has the parts and stuff like that. So like, I don't need to do like the whole like remote on event, yada yada yada. If the key is this, then do this. I did not make jailbreak. Yeah, exactly, Dirt Monster. Fire clients players. Yeah, it's just a table of players. Like, you know, I'll literally show my network. Network. Dude, I can't type. Networker server. You just fire players, and it's a player group, and a player group is just player or a table of players. That's most crazy. Yeah, and you can. My thing also supports like setting a value. Like you could set a specific value to like for a certain player, stuff like that. I don't know, just it's very convenient, I find. My GitHub. One sec. Oh. I didn't see Asmo. Hello. Thank you. Also, welcome. I didn't see him in chat. My bad. I thought you were saying I am. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. So now basically when the wall is touched, we want to, let's start with the right one. So when we touch the right wall, we essentially want to flip the wheels around. So first we need to check to see, I think we should check to see which direction it's going. Actually we need to get the bot first, which I think I have a function here. Get bot from object. So you do local bot equals self get bot from object. I don't know why that IntelliSense wasn't working. It's like slow. Yeah, the stream delay is bad because of I'm using Restream. So it's like I have to stream to Restream and then Restream streams to Twitch and YouTube. And we can do if not bots, then we return. Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it, Asimo. That's awesome. If you're still here. You know, I went to I think, was it 2 years ago? Did you do a talk at RDC? I'm trying to remember. I went to a talk, and I believe it was you. You were a part of it. It was like Jailbreak was the game, Creatures of something like that, and then there's one other game I think, and they're talking about like I think different monetization strategies. I don't know, something like that. I forget. Can't program with music for dude. I gotta program with music. It's like an absolute must. Except I have to listen to non-copyright stuff on YouTube, which is annoying. But oh well. Okay, so when the right wall is touched, we get the bot. We need to check the bot's direction. So you can say local dir equals bot get direction. And then we need to define get direction. So if we go to BattleBot here and we do create a new function BattleBot get direction like so. Was it yesterday that was yesterday the 8-hour stream? I kind of lose track of time. Okay, so this is gonna be a little confusing. The dir here is different than maybe we should do like a direction traveling or something like that. What does self mean? It's a keyword in object-oriented programming. So self is the current object of the class that's using this function, essentially. I know that probably is like a really convoluted response that didn't actually teach you anything. But is our battles between the players created on server, or is it a live server? Both can see. So the battles, it's both. Since it's a completely custom physics engine, the battles are basically played on the server and at the client at separate times. So like, basically the server, when a battle happens, let me I need to give myself some stuff. If I go to data template, and I set my win streak to like 5, I just need to get some items. So when I run this simulation, essentially, that's what I'm doing. I'm running a simulation, and I click battle. The server is running this exact same simulation with the exact same inputs at the exact same time, but it's all done through math. That way, the server knows essentially immediately how, like, who wins, and then the client can play the exact same simulation with no lag, actually have instances tied to it, etc., etc. Because given the same inputs, we will always have the same outputs because it's a deterministic physics engine. That's kind of the simplest way to put it. So, yeah. Essentially, everything being deterministic is really OP. And that's what allows me to do some crazy stuff. Like, if I go to my client's battler, and let's, I basically reinvented physics, exactly. And if I enable the debug menu, and I set, actually let's just do that for now. Oh crap. Need to actually have a robot in order to battle. If I go here and battle now, we have the debug menu, which shows the exact same thing that's happening in 3D, which is happening in 2D. Because essentially what's happening is this, it's a 2D physics engine that's then being projected into the 3D Roblox instances. So this is what's actually happening. This is the good looking stuff that is then shown by the players. And then you can take it even a step further. Let me disable debug mode. And since it's my own physics engine, I can do I can set the speed of everything. So like, let's say I want the battle to go 10 times faster. I just set the speed to 10. And come on. Now when I battle, everything is 10 times faster. The animations are a little behind, but it still gets you the exact same results because everything is just math. It's beautiful. Everything's math. So this is actually what the server is doing, essentially. They're running the exact same simulation at like 100x speed. So they instantly know who wins or not and can validate. How do I make the debug menu in 2D? The real question should be, how do I make the instances in 3D? Everything is 2D to begin with. It's then being transferred to 3D after. But the debug menu is using editable images to actually project them and like build the shapes, like the polygons, stuff like that. I plan on doing a whole video on object-oriented programming that will cover like self, the keyword, and everything that is related to that, because it's kind of I think it's a really important topic, but maybe out of scope of this stream. The new mesh edit thingy API? No, the editable images. There's just an image label one. But I have messed around with the mesh one too. I showed that in one of the devlogs. Yep, exactly, Thuggin. It's the exact same math because it's the exact same input. The one thing you have to be careful of is that it's not frame rate dependent. That's the only thing they have to be careful with. What's the null thing? It's literally just a string that says null, because I didn't want to have empty indexes in an array. Like if this one was nil, and then when I go to save this in the data stores, it would break because it's like an empty index in an array. So it's just an easier way to, for this very specific scenario. Don't normally, I'm not recommending you normally do that. It's just in this scenario, it was the best way to do it. It's just Figma. I don't know. Yeah, it's just Figma. I guess I don't know what Figma Design versus Figma Draw is. What do you use for GUI? How do you import in the studio? How do you structure the Explorer for UI? It's a very loaded question. That's what I'm planning on making a video on next. Do I do everything myself? Yeah. Is my networker better protection against threats than remote events? No. It's just a remote event under the hood with some utility. It's not any more secure than any other remote event would be. I just export my images from Figma to like a PNG, and then I, import them and do it that way. Am I still in high school? No. I'm out of college even. I graduated college. Let's give this movement direction. I look like a baby. Yeah. And let's set this equal to dir. Do I have a job? You're watching it. This is my job. Okay, let's not make this. Let's just but we need to define it up here. Movement direction. So if we're traveling right, that means we have a positive direction. So if we touch the right wall and our direction's positive, that means we need to turn around. So I need to do bot, so I should say if dir equals 1. Or I could just say if dir is greater than 0. Then we need to say bot set direction -1. No, not a single strip architecture. The opposite. Everything is extremely modular. Hi, real blue. Actually, let's do this. Change direction. I'm just gonna name this change direction. And then inside here, we'll do this. Am I a millionaire? I am not. Not yet, at least. Can Roblox developing pay normal wage? Yes. The top developers on Roblox are millionaires. Yeah, I've been a full-time Roblox developer for 4 years. So it's definitely very livable. And I'll just say, like, I do very well for my age. Okay, so change direction. We are going to say self.movement direction is negative of it. Can I just, I don't like that. Can I just do times equals -1? I like that better. How old am I? I turned 24 in 3 weeks. Okay, so we changed the movement direction, and then we want to basically switch the direction that the tires are turning. So down here we have init wheel, and we set the torque depending on the directions, like so. So we need to essentially set target torque to basically the new movement direction. How old do I think you are, Menace? I would guess 15 or 16. Yeah, I made Tower Defense RNG, and then I made both Defenders depots, and then I also have done some brand work as well, like the Jaws game, for example. Even though that performed horribly, it was a well-made game. And that's all that I was paid to make. Blame someone else. Okay, so I need to essentially get the constraint and reverse it. Focused on the wrong things, Metas. It was added complexity and not much more, and it was a learned lesson. It did all right, obviously. Like, it didn't do amazing, but like, what? It's got over 30 million plays now. Like, that's not bad. Obviously not amazing, but okay, so we have to get the constraints for the wheels. So where are we parenting these? Are we ever? So we're not. Self add object wheel. So we need to make a new thing here called wheel constraints. So I will do wheel constraints. They're hinge constraints. Do I know anything about making assets to sell on the Roblox Creator Store? I don't actually. I've never uploaded anything to the Roblox Creator Store. Hi, Cubic Art. Okay, so we make a new container for the wheel constraints, like that, and we will add whenever we initialize a new wheel. We will do table insert self wheel constraints constraint. And then when we say turn around, change direction, we will do we will loop through our constraints and set the target torque to self movement direction. Set target torque. Max torque. Yeah, I can hope K. 1 second. Target torque. The constraint. I don't think that's actually a real thing. What? Is type annotation seriously that powerful for IntelliSense? Yeah. Typing is a must. In my opinion, I think typing is extremely powerful. I wouldn't want to work in a code base that isn't typed. Okay, so then we change directions. Change directions. Set target torque. Speed. So this should theoretically work. So let's try it out. My data template and me up this just a little bit. Where do I use Janitor? Find cleanup libraries very unnecessary. Dude, same. I don't think I use Janitor anywhere in this entire game so far. I think I used it a little bit. I found it slightly useful for like certain weapons in like a different game. Like I would be connecting to a bunch of events for those specific weapons. I didn't necessarily like want to track them all. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah. Please turn around, please turn around. Hey, let's go. It turned around. Oh, and we leveled up. I kind of forgot you could level up. I haven't leveled up in so long. No bats. It's very similar, but it's a little different. Here's Tower Defense RNGs, and here is the new one. Very similar. What is Janitor? It's like essentially you just throw everything that needs to be cleaned up at some point into the cleanup package. Commonly used is Janitor or Maid, and then once you're done, instead of individually unsubscribing or cleaning up all the events or whatever, you just clean up the Janitor and it will do everything else. I will say it's handy. Like, it definitely is handy, but I personally don't find myself needing it very often. Like, don't get me wrong, I will use it when I need to, but I feel like a lot of the times I just, you know, am manually writing my destructors. Like, you know, Like, I could have just set these in the... I could have added these in the initialization, in the constructor in my .new up here, like had a janitor and then call janitor clean up here. But like, I don't know. Do I use the promise? In some specific spots I do, but honestly not as much as I probably should. I would say my #1 most used module is signal. Okay, wait, so we have the right touch one, but we need the left touch. So right. I'm destroying programming Lua. It looks so bad. I would say the worst thing about it is having to explicitly pass self in, because using the colon operator doesn't type self. Like, look. Okay, it does here, but trust me, it doesn't actually. Oh, it only knows these because they're written here. I would say that's the worst thing, is that self has to be explicitly typed. Signal by... I think mine's by Slitnik. Slitnik. I never know how to say his name. What? Oh. Signal. I've been using Sift a lot more. It's just like table utilities. Very useful. Okay, I want to do... don't use Roblox LSP. Use Luau LSP instead. Roblox LSP is abandoned, and it's based off of Lua and not Luau. Roblox LSP's type checking capabilities is very bad. And prone to breaking because it is no longer being maintained. Wall touch. Let's do side number. And then I'll just do wall touch, object, -1, nope. And then same thing here. Okay, that should work. So now when you're moving in that direction and you touch a wall, it will now send you this way. But if you say we're moving in this direction and you get backed up into this wall, it won't try and make you go this way. Well, language server doesn't work for you? Why not? What about it doesn't work? Oh, need more health. Let's do this actually. Nerf Tesla, we're gonna be balancing stuff soon. I pushed him into the laser. How did I learn animating in Bones? Just messing around. Like, I've used Bones once before, and for the Jaws game actually. So like I knew they existed, but I didn't really know how to use them, like how to actually make them. So then I just kind of like looked up some videos, and was able to figure some stuff out. Did I get invited to RDC? Yeah, yep, I'll be there. Where is RDC? It's in San Jose, California. Yeah, bones are actually really powerful. Like, I think they're so cool. It's such like a simple thing, like, you know, being able to animate size. Okay, it's so simple, right? But can't do it without bones, at least easily, like with Roblox native whatever. And it makes for the animations look so much smoother, like the lance and stuff like that. Just makes it look really good. And it's like, how would I ever animate this going completely inside of that without bones? You know what I mean? Because it's so much bigger than that little thing. Thanks, Infram. LeBron James. The lasers deal damage based off of percent health. Like, it does a percentage of health. So whoever has the lower percent health. Also, if you're being pushed into the laser, you would be taking damage first. Like, for the time it takes to be pushed in. So, I think it works. Here's another great example of bones. These lasers. Oh, that's something else I need to fix. The other side's lasers are shown the wrong direction. Like, they're like behind the bot. You gotta invite to RDC, we don't have the money to go? Damn. Dude, it's a good time. Okay. Let's try and fix that real quick. I think it's gonna be really easy. I think it's just the Z index is being messed up. Let's see. So it'd be in laser. And for the cannon, how do you sync the ball's fire time? Do you use markers in animation? I don't even remember. Maybe? Let me check. I think the animation's so fast they just play at the same time. Like, I think the animation plays is right when the ball is created anyways. That's why I made a whole tutorial about it, or a whole video about it. Yeah, I mean, the ticket for RDC is really cheap. It's like, what, 80 bucks or something like that? But, obviously the traveling is the expensive part. But last year they gave everyone free, wait, was that last year? Two years ago, they gave everyone free VR headsets, so that was cool. I think we need to change the laser. Actually, what is happening there? Oh, this is gonna be annoying. I need to go against a laser. Oh, okay. Battle scene. This. Laser. Is it the attachments not being where they need to be, or is it something else? I think these are on the wrong side. Because... Oh, we just need to make it so that the laser is not inside of this route. It can be inside of any other route, like this route. Then it'd be fine. The death lasers at the end are purely visual, meaning that essentially if you're over a certain point on like the X-plane, you'll be taking damage. So like regardless of where you are, it doesn't technically matter as long as you are, you know, your X position is within bounds. It's just a decal, Thuggin. I was gonna do like a skybox thing, but the skyboxes were like messing with the lighting a lot, so I was like, screw it, we'll just throw a decal on a part and call it good. Okay, parts. Weapon, laser. Let's just update this a little. Instead of it being in this route, we need to add dart and beam into this route. And that still looks good, yeah. Okay, not quite. Needs to be in just a little. I guess we can do this. Start. Copy position. And then just move it like that. And then end. Copy position. Boom. Which gadgets are you planning on having? I don't know yet. That's something I was maybe thinking about starting this stream. I haven't lost my mind yet, Neon. Okay, and then that should still work because it's just, yeah, it's recursively trying to find it. Oh, nice. Okay. That looks good. That's a good idea. Scissor. I like that. Okay, cool. So let's check our list. We got the reverse thing working. We fixed laser. Fix laser. Check. Let's commit these changes. Hey Memphis. Welcome, welcome. So let's do let's commit this. What am I committing? Who am I? Where am I? Reverse. Reverse bot direction. Sync. Okay. What do you have to do now? That we need to decide. So I could balance. That's what I was probably thinking about doing. Or we could start on gadgets too. So much more interesting when they go back and forth. I love it. Start on gadgets. Did I make the UIs? Yep. Everything. All the models, all the UI, all the code. Everything. Yeah, sect. Oh, I was supposed to show someone how my networkers work. Are they still here? I totally forgot about that. Are you talking about that tutorial RoboCrafter? Hi, Ignite. Okay. Hope this is how my networkers work. So the whole principle, this is essentially what I'm going to be kind of explaining in my next tutorial. So pay attention if you want. The whole principle is based around a service structure. So everything is very modular. So a service is essentially a slice of your game's code. Okay. So in this example, we have a battle service, a build service, an inventory service. Each thing is a slice of the game, and it's responsible for everything that is related to that slice, essentially. Okay, so these services typically have a server and a client version. So for example, a very easy example would be the inventory. I delete an item. Okay, well, the client is deciding that they delete an item, so they ping the server that they want to delete, and then the server says, okay, I listened and I hear that you want to delete it. Let's check to make sure you actually can, right? So let me just create a new service. I'm just going to name this test service, okay? And I'll make a client script, client.luau. Sorry, I should say this is still a module script. It's not like a client. I'm just naming it client script, and it automatically changes names up here because of some cool stuff that I do. So a service is just a singleton, okay? So typically you would name it something like this. Test service client, return test service client, okay? It's a singleton, which means you're only ever making one of them. You're never going to have multiple test service clients, which is different than a class/object. Class you make multiple objects of, okay? So then you'd have, functions like function test service client do the thing, okay? And you'll have test service client as the parameter. Again, this is just luau doesn't understand colon yet, so we have to do this. We have to explicitly define or explicitly type self, but we haven't defined test service client. But there's an easy kind of thing you can do here. You can do type of test service client, and then it understands. Okay, and maybe in this do the thing we say print doing the thing in test service client. Amazing. And we're not even using self, so I'm just gonna prefix that. Okay, so when networkers come into play is when you want to communicate between the service and client versions. So I haven't made the server yet, but I can make a server.luau. What the? Server.luau. Okay, and inside of here, very similarly, we have the server version of this script. Okay, not .client, .server, and again, we're gonna return test server. Can't type to save my life. Return this. Okay, amazing. Maybe on the test service, I should have named this something better, but let's just say like function test servers. Let's say add it money. Okay. Yep. Print adding money. Okay. Again, we're gonna create the type. Amazing. But we want these to be able to communicate. Okay. So in order to do that, we need to use, some method of doing so. That would be remote events, right? But remote events are clunky because they're tied to an instance. Now, my networkers are obviously still tied to a remote event because that's the only way that Roblox allows us to communicate, essentially. So, typically a service has an init function, okay? Okay, so in the initialization, we would say self.networker equals networker, networker, and this is requiring my networking class. And then since this is a server, .server.new. And then you tie it to some unique identifier. It's just test service in this example. It can be whatever, as long as it's unique. And then you pass the actual service into it. Okay? And then similarly on the client, do another test service dot init self test service client yada 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 self dot networker equals networker. But since we're on the client, we do networker dot client dot new, and you do that same unique string. Okay. And we have to add the networker to the type. So you create a union. So you do networker and dot client. Unknown type test service client. What? Am I dumb? Where's the error? Expected end. Am I dumb? Oh. End. Okay. So we've created the networker that will allow communication between the services, okay? We have test service client, test service server. Now if we want to ping the client, let's say we want to ping the client, okay? I'm going to say that we pass a player in here just for easy usage, okay? We would say self.networker fire the player or players that you want, and you're telling them that you added money. Okay, so this is you performing a function on the server. So I don't know, I'm just gonna do the thing because that's the function I wrote earlier. Okay, and amount, you can pass whatever you want in here. It'll just be passed like so. So I could do this and just do okay. So when I say networker fire player do the thing, that is literally me calling this function for the player that I passed in. And very, very similarly, the exact same thing, I could do function test server get money. I don't know. I could say self networker fire and create something here, get money. Okay, print got money. Amazing. So now I can communicate and say get money, and it will literally call this function on the server. But wait. Does this mean the client has access to everything? They can call all of these functions? No. You have to specifically define in a client access table what they're allowed to call. So here I would say self get money. And this means that the client is allowed to call this. If they try and call anything else, it would throw an error. That's kind of like the really basics. There's more to it. Like there's fetch, which will return a value. You could do like local num fetch and then call a function. So like if get money returns something, and I said return 1,000, when I say self networker fetch get money, it will call this function on the server and, you know, do something. You could say, like, I don't know, whatever this function does, and then it would return this value, and this would now be whatever the server side code ran. And you're doing all of this while still inside code. You don't need to be like creating new instances, creating new remote events, yada yada yada. There's also like more stuff too. Like you can, this is the last thing I'm gonna say on this, but you can do self networker set. I never actually added this to the type. That's why it wasn't showing up there. Networker. So you could do self networker set, and you can see some things here. So I could set the player's money to 25, okay? And this would literally set inside of here, if we had a variable like money equals 0, it would set the money when this function's called, and we could even have a listener to it. So I could do self.networker get server change signal for money, and now this returns a signal that you can now listen to. You do function and changed value, and you could say print money change to change value. So this is like, it's just a bunch of like really, I think, essential non-instance based networking that allows for super easy communication between services. That's kind of the whole thing. What's your opinion on attributes network? Personally, really use. Really? No, I don't use attributes like that. All of my networking is like done through code like that. Wait, is this live? Yeah, it is. And if you think that's amazing, you should see my data service. You should see my data service, because data service I think is even more important than that one. It said restream in thumbnail. Yeah, I know, it's confusing. I'm using an app called Restream to stream to Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I've never used that, Sir. Will I go deeper in the structure in the next tutorial? Yeah, that's essentially what my entire next tutorial is about, is this kind of service structure. Because, yeah. And this just allows for super modular design. You know, if something breaks in your inventory, you know exactly where to look. Flex. So I actually do keep them in server. So I have this set up in a way that, so this test service that we made, if we go into Studio and we go to shared services test service, you'll see the client version is the only one here, and in server script service, you'll see down here we have a server version. So they are being separated by using basically VS Code's cool tooling, essentially. This is just a VS Code, like I literally made a short JavaScript tool to do this for me, so that I can, because that's what I really like. I really like having the server and client right next to each other. So it's like, this is the test service. I don't want to have like a test service over here and a test service over here, but it's like, this way they're right next to each other. I know exactly where to look for everything. remote events aren't exploitable. It's your code that's exploitable. Remote events just allow you to communicate between server and client. Nothing about them is inherently exploitable except for bad code. Where's the networker library from? It's mine. Like it's on my GitHub or it's on my Wally right now, but I have it published to Wally. But it's the documentation isn't amazing yet. Can I show my VS Code task? Yeah. So it runs watch Roho, and then in tools, it's this is some really crappy JavaScript, like horrible code, but it works. Like it works. It just essentially reads through kind of everything and checks for this kind of structure. And what does your data service do that's better than your networker? So they're two separate things. Networker is just for communicating between client and server. My data service is for saving like persistent data. Like, you know, how much money you have, what level the player is, that kind of stuff. And it automatically replicates to clients. You can subscribe to events like, you know, your money changed, now do this, etc. And everything's automatically saved and backed using... yeah. Okay, last thing, I'll very briefly go over my React setup because I gotta get back to coding. It's just become like a Q&A teaching stream, which is fine. But, okay. Yeah, sister, session locking, yeah. I mean, everything is backed by profile service, so like data service is technically just a wrapper around profile service that makes everything extremely easy and intuitive, and you don't need to think about anything except giving your data template, and that's it. Okay, really fast. Camera not move back, good call. So my UI. This is how I set up my React, okay? I have this one folder that contains everything UI related. Inside of it, you have your root UI, which is essentially creating everything, okay? Creating your screen GUI, mounting the things that need to be mounted, okay? React, no. There's also, I just have like a table of all my image IDs. This is not React specific, but like it's just nice to have. Don't be typing these into your code. Type images.cancel, images.trophy. That's just a small thing. And then, oh man, this is a lot to kind of explain, but I'm also using Redux, which will make things even more complicated. But essentially, like, I try and keep it very modular again, where it's like each component, you know, we have a component that's like a bot icon. This is the code that creates, you know, those viewport frames of the icons, that kind of stuff. And it's like, I don't know, like here are the hooks that you use is a very common pattern in React. Buy an extensity. Oh, unless you're saying bye to the other guy. You keep stories in a separate folder from the component modules themselves. Yeah, so I typically just do I just have like one main story that will just mount the entire route. And like it works for pretty much everything I need. Like, so here's horsecat, click route, show it, and it's like it'll just mount everything for me. And it's like gets the job done, you know? Like I have done it before where I'm doing like one what's it called? Like I have like if you're just working on a specific menu, you can make like a what's it called? A story for that one specific menu, but like generally most of the time I just use the one route thing and then the root story, and then I just, you know, if I want a menu to specifically be open, you know, I would do exactly this. It's commented out. Dispatch that I'm opening the menu, test menu or whatever. Any great learning resources you use, or all trial and error? It's dude, it's tough. It's tough out there. There really isn't very many good resources, and that's kind of a big reason why I'm starting to get into the more like educational tutorial content, because I really struggled like figuring a lot of this stuff out, and I think Roblox especially is behind in the times when it comes to more advanced tooling or advanced workflows, you know? Yeah, it's a solid. Most reactive stacks will look like this. Just a React Redux subbed out with other libraries. Yeah. Yeah, I like Fusion. I used Fusion for a previous game, and I really liked it. I wanted to learn React because I wanted the what's it called? The off-platform like experience, essentially. Like it's a good transferable skill. Does React let you create the viewports in the screen it announces player versus enemy? Yeah. Yeah, everything UI you see here is like this screen. This is all React as well. Like everything. React is creating these viewports. React is creating, click through this, these viewports as well. Is it pronounced vide or like vide? Is it like a sous vide? Or is it like vide? How is it pronounced? George, because having a state and knowing exactly what your UI will look like is extremely powerful and reduces massive headaches. How long have I been working on this project? Just over a month. I started it when like my first devlog was published. Vid-E. Vid-A. Huh. Yeah, I agree. Fusion, for me, was so much easier to learn than React. It's actually been, like, I wouldn't say, like, a hard struggle, but, like, it's been tough to learn the React way coming from Fusion. But I've liked it, so. A month, that's it, yeah. Do you feel like the chat slows down your workflow? Yeah, 100%. It slows down so much. Yep, just over a month and everything is so low. Hey, Wuganator. Yeah, I'm very unproductive when I stream, but it's whatever. It's fun. I love these dancing emotes. They're so funny. Yeah, that's a huge actually point, Suizin. And that's something I really enjoyed about Fusion, is that it's not technically only for UI. You have the entire declarative state managing system. And it deals with real Roblox instances, which I think, coming from Roblox native, is very powerful and very... It's much easier to learn. Do I know any good resources for Fusion? Nope. Good luck. I know, it sucks. Dude, this looks sick. This looks so good. Really, Rogue? That's interesting. The Fusion API is good, but it was missing some very... At least last time I used Fusion, which was 0.2, it was missing some very needed things in the API that was really annoying. I don't use UI lib. I don't know what that is. I don't think. Don't compare to me, Catloaf. I'm unhealthy. I'm just addicted to development. It's like all I think about. It's like a game to me, if that makes sense. Like, I'm like addicted to League of Legends, right? Or like have been in my life, but also like when I'm like in the groove in development, it gives me like that same like grind. I use object-oriented programming. How often do you use it in this code base? All the time. Constantly, all the time. Okay. So I would say, what are we working on? We are going to be working on... What did we decide? I don't remember. Yeah. I get that. Yeah, every project for sure. How much time do I spend a day working on the game? I would say, so I typically like am on like every day, but it's like very sporadic, if that makes sense. Gadgets are balancing. Thank you. That's right. Why is your Roblox studio looking weird? What's weird about it? Okay, should we do gadgets or balancing? I mean, I feel like HorseCat just works. Like, I don't really see why I would need anything more than HorseCat. What type of gadgets? I don't know. That's a good question. We could start with something simple, like a booster. Gadgets. Okay. Let's maybe make a booster then. Are you not updating from profile service to profile store? I didn't even know there was an update, to be completely honest. What's the difference? Oh, is it just typed? Is that the main thing? Dizzy, stop spamming, dude. I saw your message. I did remember seeing there was a typed version of profile service. Is that what it is? More secure. I guess I'm not really worried about the security. Profile store is better optimized and fewer calls. Profile store has types. Maybe I should switch to it then. Hey, yo! Is that actually Mr. Viggy? Please. It is him? How do you know? Okay. We are gonna make a... Do you have this default set of files you use for every project you start? I mean, typically, if there's something that needs to be used in multiple projects, I just throw it in the package, like, dependencies here. Like, Signal, my networker and data service, you know, React. But there's also some, like, obvious things like, you know, UI setup that can't really be, like, a package that you kind of just have to do. Okay, let's make a gadget. I think I'm gonna do a booster first, just because it's like the simplest, easiest thing to do. And then we can get more creative, because I still need to make like the whole what's it called, like structure of how gadgets will even function. So I'm just gonna do a booster, and I know it's like super basic, but we kind of just need to do it. So essentially how a booster will work is after X amount of time, it will apply a force to the bot in some direction. So say we have a bot here, booster here, say 3 seconds pass, it would apply a force like this to the bot, maybe over, you know, a 1 second period. Okay. So we obviously need the physics engine itself to be able to apply the force. Well, actually, no. We only need the body. So let's just create a new class called Booster. Booster index, return booster function, booster new. Go. Okay. This booster should probably have a force and a force and a direction, I suppose, and a duration. Force. Force, rotation. else do we need? Oh, duration. Okay. So we're gonna have a function called booster update. We need to define the type. So export type there, self booster, and delta time here. This will return booster. Maybe, sister. Maybe. We're just gonna start with something simple first. Okay, so this update will be ran essentially every frame, okay? Frame of the physics engine. So duration, we also need a cooldown. CD, I don't know, 1. How did I set? Yeah, okay. Let's make a new, oops, what am I typing? Cooldown is 1. Or I guess maybe it should just be delay. No. No, I haven't, Akoya. Okay, and then we'll do self cooldown minus equal dt. What? Okay, actually, so we have 2 states. The first state is we are waiting for the cooldown to essentially finish. Second state is cooldown has finished. We are applying the force. Okay. I guess a third state would be the duration has depleted. And and at that point we do nothing. Okay. So what we should do is essentially yeah, exactly. You have to explicitly type it, otherwise it, like if you do, because obviously this is what the colon operator is supposed to be doing, but you get some, actually no, here you get not self, dot self. Like, come on. Versus see, now we get everything. Yep, it's Copilot for the auto suggestions. And have you started design patterns like singletons? Yep, I use singletons all the time. I have a whole service structure, which is essentially a singleton like service for each service in my game is technically like a singleton. Okay, booster update. So we need to do if self cooldown is greater than 0, and we do that. And then we just return. What do I use for UI creation? Figma, most of the time. Also use Photoshop to like touch up images as well. But yeah. So if cooldown is greater than 0, then we subtract. Okay, that will cover that case. Do you not have client services? Each service has a client and a server. Well, I guess technically not every service, but services can have a client and a server version of each one. I would go back like 30 minutes, I was talking very in depth in my kind of service structure. Okay, so when we've reached cooldown, we do yada yada. If self duration is less than or equal to 0, then return. Actually, we can just put that first. If there's no duration left, we don't care. Let's just set the default duration to 1. This will be probably passed in, but no Exuvia. So you're forgetting that everything is done on the server and the client, like, essentially at the same time. So the server isn't replicating anything. That's the beauty of it. There is no replication. You're just running the simulation. So yeah. It doesn't need to be authoritative or whatever, because you're running a server version and you're also running a client version. And because you have the same inputs, you have the same outputs. Okay. And the client version is essentially right here. Set model. There's a function that sets the actual model, and then then we subscribe to some events like projectile added. Okay, emit some particles, play some sounds. We hit something. Okay, shake the camera. That kind of stuff. And you could go crazy and make a separate client version and server, but since it's just so simple, there's no point. Okay. Then we do duration is equals to t, and apply force. Function booster, apply force. Self booster. Okay. So the booster itself will need to also have essentially the battle part, I believe. Let me think, actually. Do we need a battle part? Yeah, we do. A battle part is essentially, it's like a utility kind of way to describe an object to the physics engine without it being a part of the physics. For example, the weapons don't actually have collisions tied to them, but I can still use things like, get the touching objects inside of this bounding box based off of this battle part, which is defined by some vertices, some rotation, etc., etc. And the battle part is essentially welded to the body, which you see here. And it's a more efficient way because I'm not actually running physics calculations. I'm just doing math when we call these functions. Okay, so battle part would be this. We care about dirt. Yeah, we do. Gadget data. I don't know what this is yet, so I'm just gonna type it as a blank table. And then dir is a number. And then we have a bunch of other stuff that the battle part needs, so we just pass it in like that. So the rotation This is kind of weird. Why do we even need rotation? Because the force... Oh, I guess if the force is just a scalar, then we don't. But if force is like a vector 2, then... I guess, wait. In my polygon, when we say apply force, or I guess actually in the object, apply force. So force is a vector 2, right? Hey, Dogger. I guess we should really do apply impact though, or apply impulse. Gums, typically what you'll do is you'll have, if you go to view asset manager places, you'll have multiple places in here. One will be dev, one will be models, one will be like here. I'll show. Like here. Like here's dev me. Here's, you know, models, a test place, production, some other like VFX testing places, stuff like that. And then when you're ready to go, you just publish dev to production essentially. Oh, okay. So the force should be a scalar, but then we get the rotation based off of the battle parts rotation. When we say battle part get rotation, get position rotation here. It is publicly available. Yeah, it's on my GitHub and it's on Wally. Like it's published to Wally, but like I do plan on doing like some polishing, but everything works. I don't want to do... So you have to get rotation like this, basically. I guess we just get the body orientation, add that to that orientation, and rotate the point based off of... Okay, yeah. So, in apply force, force is going to be a scalar. So let's just say it's 10. I don't know. Random number. And we will say local force is going to equal self dot... They're not defined. Oh. Self dot battle part. Actually, wait. I should do... Oh. Okay. So based off of this rotation that we get, I'm going to say local force equals 10, local rot equals 0. And then inside of here, this force will be physics utils, and we have to essentially rotate the force by Actually, wait, no, it would just be vector2.new. Yeah. Basically the x component and the y component based off of rotation. Do you mind? I'm guessing you said showing the code that's separating the client/server modules. There's my GitHub. What do you mean, Schmitty? Okay, force is a vector 2. Oh, open sourcing. Yeah, but I'll probably get roasted for my bad JavaScript code. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Set up and port modules, like publish to Wally? Is that what you're talking about? What are we yelled at for? Bots. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so now that force is a vector 2, we can say, now we use physics utils. Actually, wait, we need the body's rotation, local body rotation. Actually, no. Local pause rot equals self battle part get position and rot, and then we do local force equals physics utils rotate point self dot force by the rotation of the body. Okay, so this will essentially rotate our vector 2. If I go here, delete everything. Let's say we have a bot like this. Oh, wait, let's say we have a bot like this. Our force is going this way. Come on, force is going this way. If we take everything and bruh. If we take everything and rotate it, can you really not rotate in paint? Okay. If we take everything and rotate it, we are essentially left with... It's so annoying, actually. With this, right? And we need to know... Since our force was just being applied this way, we need to take into account the body's rotation here. So we get the angle, basically, how much this is, you know, theta, and apply it here. That's all we're doing. Can you put it on your GitHub or something? Yeah, I think I could. There's some other, like, it's kind of tough because there's kind of like a whole process to get everything set up. Like, it's not just this. I also had to get, like, the npm package manager, like, here, and, like, create this. I guess I could just put these scripts into a blank project. What am I working on? So, right now I'm working on adding a gadget to my BattleBots game. So, go ahead and fight. I don't know if you meant like the game in general or what I'm working on like right this second, but this is the BattleBots game. Oh jeez. Essentially, it's a physics-based 2D game based off the mobile game Cats. Oh. Can you make your own custom battle bots? What do you mean by custom battle bots? Oh, like the shapes? No. But there are quite a few shapes. Why did you change the texture from real stylized from studs type? I just like it better, studs. And I was really struggling to create more tiers in the stylized, like, detailed version. And graphics is like one of the least important things on Roblox. I don't know. I like it. Okay, so we have the force. We need to then apply the impulse, essentially. At that position, apply the force impulse. So we would do self dot battle part dot body. It's technically whatever. Apply impulse. The impulse is the force at this position. Okay, and what an impulse will do is it will basically take into account the angular velocity or momentum blanking that the force would then give it. So like if you give a force applied right here, you're gonna turn the thing, obviously. Whereas if you just said force plus equals this force, you would essentially just be moving in a linear line. Yeah, Mark, I like the studs look. I know it's like a hot topic, but I think it looks good. One thing we should do though is we need to change our force to take into account the delta time, because we want to be applying this force over some period of time, right? So we essentially just need to take this times dt, and we need to pass in dt here. Because otherwise, if like we played on some other frame rate, we would get different results. Or I guess technically the frame rate wouldn't matter, but how big our step is would matter. Like let's say we had a tiny step time, we'd be applying this many more times than we normally would be. Okay. So this should work. Okay, let's make... Can you explain why the player class? What do you mean by player class? I don't think I have any, like... You're talking about, like, the data template? Oh, the player service data. Is that what you're talking about? The one that I just published to my GitHub? Like, right before the stream? Yeah, super simple. Some services want to know things that aren't necessarily worthy of being persistently kept. So for example, if I go to battle service, I believe, no, clash service, you'll see I use service player data here. So what this means is it basically just keeps track of some state that matters for this session. So for example, like if you're already in a clash, I don't want you to join another clash. And this is just player data that's tied to this service. You know, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory and it's super easy. You know, you initialize it in it, and then you can just do, you know, if the player tries, like they call start clash, okay, let's check to see if the player is already clashing. That's all it is. And obviously this doesn't need to be persistent data that's saved across sessions. This is just like you know, if you're clashing, you can't clash if you're already clashing. And there's like more things like that too, like why not use something like charm? I don't think I know what charm is. I don't think I've heard of that. I don't even know what this does, but I'll just set it like that for now. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, in the BattleBot, we need to initialize the gadgets now. I use React for UI. I'll try and fix the delay for next stream. It's just because I'm doing everything through a restream. So like, I don't know if there's any other options to doing like multi-streaming. Ever considered using Fusion? Yeah, I've used it for projects before. I just wanted to do React on this project. Using the link to Charm's GitHub state management thing. Well, this isn't necessarily like only for state management. It's more so the utility that it provides for it automatically creates the service player data when a player joins the game. and automatically disposes of it once they leave. So like you can like have events and stuff like that inside of this, and it just like won't leak, I guess. It'll automatically forget about the data, and it has like useful things like self, player data, on player removing, and you could like do something like if you need to do something to their data when they're removing, on player added, and it's like tied to the data rather than the player's instance. That way it's like not instance bound. I try and avoid instances as much as I can, basically. Yeah, it's the service player data thing it's like very basic. It's really like 50 lines of code or something like that. Oh, I do need I. Okay. I mean, we could probably just combine these eventually, but I just want to see it work, so I'm kind of just gonna... I was thinking about it, Schmitty. Ninty. I don't know how to say your name. We'll see. I don't know. Never repeat yourself. Even though I am here, I'll clean this up later. That's literally the same thing as up here. Yeah, I'll clean that up in a bit. I just... No point yet. I don't know if we need collision, because some will need collisions, others won't. So I'm just gonna hold off for now, and then we need to add it to the attachments, and we can just leave it like that for now. Okay. So this will essentially create the booster. I have no experience with it, with Jex, or however you say it. So I can't really say anything about that. Cosine. So by default, cosine of 0. So by default, we're pointing to the right. You tried the charm to icons? Yeah, a lot of people have actually told me to use it, but I don't really like it. I'm totally fine just with this. I don't know. I don't really see a point. So we also need to see if we're direction. Oh, we'll just do this. If dir equals -1, then math.pi. So what this is saying is if you're going this way, then a normal, we're just gonna essentially rotate your booster by 180 degrees. Do I work out? No. I go golfing. Does that count? Oh wait, I guess this doesn't technically always work. Because imagine this. We don't just want to rotate it by 180 degrees. We want to mirror it across the y-axis. Yeah. Because imagine we have a bot. This is our bot. We have a booster pointing this way. Okay. The same booster on this side, we want it to be pointing this way. Amazing. Okay. Everything's great. We rotated 180 degrees. Let's say we have a booster that's pointing straight up. When we go to this side, the booster will be pointing straight down because we're rotating it 180 degrees. So instead of rotating 180 degrees, we want to rotate it or mirror it across the y-axis. So something like this should equal that. So this would be, I don't know, 30 degrees. And this would be 180 minus 30. How old am I? I turned 24 in 3 weeks. Is it always 180? That's my main concern. Let's say we're pointing straight this way. -45. -45. Oh yeah. That'd be 180 plus 45. Okay. Yeah, so it's just 180 minus. If there's that, then rotation will be passed in, or yeah, passed in through gadget data. So then we'll do if dir is -1, then rotation minus equals math.pi. This is subtracting 180 degrees in radians. Do an all-night dev stream? We'll see. Oh, no, no, no. It's this minus this. Yeah, because minus equals... Wait. Yeah. Okay. And then since the rotation is being rotated, the force will then be rotated because it's using these. And then force there, rotating by the rotation of the body. And then we're applying an impulse of force, which is being applied across a time scale at the position that the position is based off of the offset, and the offset is based off of where the node is on the bot. Okay. I think everything is connecting. Create it here. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Parts, booster, booster, booster. Okay, let's create an amazing booster model. You guys ready for this? Be pretty epic. Delete. Part. Ah! Be really, really cool. Do that, and then let's do this. Not in Blender, please. What do you mean, man? My Blender is really good. There we go. That's gonna be our booster for now. Oh, it's beautiful. I don't know how I do it. And then this will be root. Take these, group them, primary part, root. Amazing. We need boom, boom, boom. Amazing, I know. And we'll say that's 1, which means it's tier 1. And let's assets, parts, gadget. Create a new folder named, oh, you can't even see this. It's okay. Okay. So we created the booster. Actually, we misnamed it. Okay, booster. And now everything will work, right? No issues for try? Surely? Let's add like a print applying booster force. I'm worried that my force isn't enough, so let's do 100. I don't really know how much I need. We'll have to just kind of guess and check there. Maybe a French fry. Okay. Let's set its cooldown to actually 2 seconds. So we'll wait 2 seconds and then it'll fire. Let's try and get it. So data template win streak, set it to 12. Oh, I got one. Okay. There. There. I don't know why it's crooked. Ignore that. And I'll put one wheel there. Battle. Where'd it go? Wait, that's fine, that's fine. It's expected, it's expected, it's expected. Okay, it didn't work. So why didn't that work? BattleBot. Maybe a French fry. Update, attachment, update, DT, booster. So we never even got to the applying force part, which could be pretty easy. Duration less than or equal to 0. Duration's 1. We're gonna go the good old print at every exit point check. I don't think I've used either of those, actually, Mr. Noob. So I can't really... I know there was one that I was looking at the other day, and it looked pretty solid. Oh, I didn't get any boosters. Can I just, like, reset my data and then give myself one? Should have used mock. Let me do pulse. Was it reset data? True. ByteNet, I think it was called. I don't know. I found the syntax very weird because you need to explicitly define. Like, I get why, obviously, because that's how they're saving the data, is because you have to explicitly define what the data type is. But why did I press? I meant to click start. Might have been packet, buffer base, requires all types of... Okay. I think it was ByteNet, but maybe packets like that too. Okay, we're just straight up never even doing the whole gadget thing. Interesting. Okay. Yo, Leaf, can you show us like the full gameplay of everything that's in the game? Sure. So, it is a battle, a physics-based battle bots, battler kind of build your own bot kind of deal. You have weapons, bodies, wheels, that kind of stuff. Each one has like some stats tied to it. You can actually upgrade certain things, like I can upgrade my damage there, you can see. And then you go ahead and fight in like a physics-based arena. Oh. And whoever wins gets rewards, increases their streak, etc., etc. So I leveled up here. New tier unlock. Get a level up. Great. Let's see what I get. The hammer weapon, new body, that kind of stuff. Let's use the hammer weapon. Cool. Go ahead and battle again. And the damage isn't scaled very well, so this normally wouldn't be like this, but here's like the tiebreaker, sudden death kind of thing. The lasers will kill you if it lasts too long. There's also the clash mode, which none of it's balanced yet. I haven't done any balancing, but essentially you beat your clash, the tournament of all 5 NPCs, and if you do, you basically, your max level is increased, and you have access to new tiers of weapons, that kind of stuff. It's based off the mobile game Cats. If you've ever heard of that, then this will look very familiar. And yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with. ByteNet is also buffered. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. Here's like the crate opening. Why does the booster look like that? Funny. Yeah, I think so too. So why is my Rojo syncing? It is. Wait a minute. I figured out why. We're never actually saying initialize the gadget. Important to, you know, call the functions that you make. Is it night where you live? It is 8 p.m. Okay. We were printing some stuff. We had some errors though. Missing my, oh, yeah. let's get rid of the prints. We don't need them anymore. And let's add the set model function, otherwise it'll yell at me. And let's add the function complete, otherwise it'll yell at me. And we're just gonna leave them empty for now. Okay, so the force was nowhere near enough, so let's just like go crazy. And see what happens. Yo, let's go. It was like a sled. That was awesome. Neum. It feels like a rocket, yeah. It's a little strong, Oh, what should we do to... So I think that, it's kind of weird, because it's like, it takes a little bit to accelerate, so I almost feel like we need to just instantly apply some velocity. Hey Malachi, welcome back. Oh, I actually wanted polygon open. I think we need to just instantly add some velocity instead of accelerating up. Like, I think we should keep some force, but we also need... I mean, we are doing this, though. Maybe what we need to do is actually increase the force? Wait. What if we increase the force but make the duration like that? What would happen? Oh my god. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, they both had boosters there. Yeah, I think we did it. Ship it. Game's ready for release. I mean, maybe it is just like 1 million. Maybe we just had it right the first time. Just we're applying it for too long. Battle. Oh, we both got boosters here. Okay. I saw the image there. Thanks, Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. Is that based on the chest opening? Yeah, I think a little bit more. And then it's actually gonna be pretty close. Yeah, I died too quick. Okay, we need to make it so that the it doesn't have such a long cooldown. It's like you get 1 second instead of 2. That's pretty good though. Like, come on. Oh, it's my only other body that has one. Do something like this. It's like, They seem a little, what's the word? A little, like they're not heavy enough, if that makes sense. Like they're kind of floaty. And I think they maybe should be a little heavier. Oh yeah, it also could just be this body is really light. That's actually been an issue. This game looks like something from Unity. Ugh. I need a better body. Come on. More weight, yeah. Try doing this. This will add more weight. Okay, actually that looked pretty dang solid. I think it was just that body was really weak. Or really what's the word? Light. This is sick. Oh. That bot looks insane. They got the booster, 2 lasers, got the decked out wheels. And I still beat them. How long is it taking for you to reach this far into the project? How many hours you've been putting in daily on average? So been working on this for about just over a month. So kind of like right before I released that initial devlog is when I started. Oh. Oh. And then oh hey, you got those lasers on. Yeah. Yeah, oh my god, dude. I was losing my mind at the end of that stream. But yeah, they look good now. Yo, this is kind of an OP strat. Because this bot, like, it's so far under it, like, with this exact setup. It, like, really gets under. I want to get a different body so I can... Oh, I did get more. Yeah, is there... I don't think I have any bodies that have 2 gadget slots yet. Let's try... I don't know. Okay. How's that not dealing damage also? Oh, it is. It's just the animations or the sparks are so far away. Oh, Jesus. Okay. No, it is park. It takes into account the body's rotation. So like because this is up top and its centroid is right here. Okay, we're gonna go back into here. Because this body looks something like this, okay? And we have a booster right here. But its centroid is right here. So if you were to apply a force is gonna be orange. Essentially going this way. What would happen is you have a moment, okay? A moment. You're gonna learn about this in your in your statics class, if you ever take one, a moment which is equal to this length, which turns into basically angular something. See a dark dog. But maybe what we could do is make it not impact the angular so much. Like, apply essentially, like, it would be really easy just to say, like, hey, don't, you know, like right here, apply impulse. Don't turn as much. So I could do the angular impulse. You know, I could do like a scalar, like angular scalar number. Yeah, status, nothing's balanced yet. And I agree, the bodies do look light. I could do angular scalar, and then the angular impulse would be this times the angular scalar, or 1 if it doesn't exist. Yes, I did create Defender's Depot and Tower Defense RNG. And then what we could do is when we apply impulse, we give it an angular scalar of like 0.25, so it doesn't impact the angular velocity as much. See? That's big brain right there. Come on. Oh, that looks good. I gotta fix the Lance VFX. It always puts it right at its base. Bothers me. I thought you'd make the boosters always apply a force to the side the enemy is at, ignoring the body rotation. I think it should matter a little bit. I think what I did here looks really good. Yeah, Brendan. The rounds are like 15 seconds max, but nothing is balanced right now, so like nothing does any damage. So typically they start with lasers. Yeah, just running ads. Breenaz. Oh, jeez. Okay, I think that the bodies feel a little light though. Like, to be completely honest. Maybe it's just, we can up, so each tier has a density tied to it. Maybe we need to up this density. Like, if I double it, what does it look like? Okay, so it's like too short, or not enough force, but that's kind of expected. How? What? I want to see one like get in the air. Okay, let me up the force applied now and see if it still feels light. We could also increase gravity. Take it soon. Maybe we just need to increase gravity. Because increasing the mass of things won't make them come down any faster. I'm sure everyone's learned that. We could also change the inertia. And inertia is essentially how prone it is to essentially the rotation. Oh, whoa. I've never seen that before. So if I were to say the inertia like, let's just say inertia times equal 2. What does this do? I honestly have no idea. Think. Okay, can anyone tell? I think that did what I wanted to do. Yeah, I will, potato. Like, they seem a little more rigid. Like, see what I mean? Like, before they were floating up, right? Nice. I think that did solve it. It looks the same for you? Really? I think it looks way more rigid. Like that, he would have been flying forever. I think it's in a good spot now. I don't know, maybe I'm coping, but... How old am I? I turned 24 in 3 weeks. I think it's really minor. So the inertia is supposed to... As far as I'm aware, okay? Inertia is the resistance to change. I believe... Is it rotational change? Isn't there like a whole video, like, the most misunderstood concept in physics is inertia? And I feel like I'm supporting that right now. But I think things look good. I think it feels a lot better. Like, look. Yeah. No, that just sold me. That was amazing. You see this guy like flip around like that? That was awesome. Maybe a little more rigid? Maybe. Why? This VFX makes me so angry. I gotta fix that. Yeah, exactly, Snow. Those are the words I was looking for. And like... Yeah, yep. Bit of bits. I plan on having like a whole, like, you can unlock maps and stuff like that, and like the clash maps will look different and stuff like that. This one I threw together in like 20 minutes. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude, this is looking so good. Come on. Have any bots or any bodies with 2 gadgets? No. Oh, I think I need to be a higher level to get them. Yeah, because I'm only level... Oh, I am level 4. Maybe I need to start winning. Maybe that's my issue. Go for the OP strat. Plan on adding skins. Maybe. Honestly, I haven't given it much thought. Yeah, it would be cool. Oh, that's got to be right on the edge of the range. Yeah, it would be pretty easy to do skins, because it would just be like all texture, you know? Dude. Okay. Yo, that worked. Come on. That's awesome. Yeah, just multiplying inertia by 2. Kinda... Maybe shouldn't put that in the physics engine and maybe do that somewhere else, but... Okay. Okay. Animated skins, yeah, that would be sick. I don't know how to do that, but that would be cool. Could figure it out. Okay. Wait, this game looks cool. That's the goal. Right. Should we balance some stuff? I think probably. Had hunger and poverty. What about thirst? Yeah, we'll come back to booster, I think, because it like functionally works, but we still need to do a couple other things. Okay. The lance emitter. Oh, true. I don't want to do that though. No, I know what the issue is. Because I did it in a dumb way when I initially did it. And I just don't want to... Oh, let's get rid of that print. I made a whole video on that topic, Krulin. There's the link. Well, that guy, they had two there. On the lightest bot, too. Maybe it should be based off weight. I don't know, though. Send Aura for using VS Code? Hell yeah. That's my problem? Okay. This is so cool. This game has been so much fun to make. I think I'm just gonna end the stream actually. I am hungry, so GG. It's been fun though. Got some good stuff done. I would 100% play this game like I play Central. Amazing. Yeah, the damages aren't balanced yet. That's probably what I'm gonna do next, but I'm gonna get some food and then I'll probably balance it. Is Derp live? I gotta raid him if he is. He is. Okay, good. But I'm gonna get. Oh, you can hear myself twice. Dude, raiding on YouTube is like the weirdest thing ever. I had to like watch a video on how to do it. Redirect. Add. Derp monster. No. What's his name? It is Dirt Monster, bruh. YouTube. What? More Ninja Tycoon work. Dude, why do they make this so difficult? More. Bruh. He doesn't have his raids turned on. Are you kidding me? Come on. On YouTube. Okay, well, I'll just send a link to it, I guess. Go join his stream. Yes, I'm ending stream. Sorry guys. Sorry. He doesn't have his things turned on. I can't. He on YouTube I can't. I guess I could on Twitch, but there's like 5 years on Twitch, so like stream manager. Raid. See, Twitch makes it so easy. Raid him. Start raid. There we go. Cool. Yeah, go view his stream. GG. Bye guys.